Got asked a great question today about what happens if we're running our Counter Trey read option to the 3 technique and the Mike backer blitzes the A gap. So let's go ahead and go over that first. Let's take a look at the blocking scheme. So if we're running it to the 3 technique, what we're trying to do is deuce the 3 technique back to the buck backer, right? We're kicking out that front side defensive end. We're wrapping up and through to the Mike. Okay, so if he blitzes from alignment, it's not a problem. Okay, so if he blitzes from back here, he's going to get mixed up in that wash anyways, and our guard knows that if something presents itself in the A gap, that he's gonna chip off and just get a piece of him. And again, he doesn't have to blow him up or drive him out of the hole. All he's got to do is get a little piece of him on the way by, and then we're already by it. Okay, so if you see the other way, so let's say he's showing his blitz. Okay, so that's a totally different situation. Excuse me. All right, got asked a great question today by another coach. What happens if we're running our Counter Trey read option to the 3 technique, so to the right here, and the backside linebacker, okay, so we're talking about this guy right here, blitzes, okay? And we're going to go through both situations, blitzing from alignment and actually showing the blitz at the line of scrimmage, and how we communicate this and how we handle it up front with the offensive line, okay? But let me start by saying, if the quarterback feels any sense of threat in a blitz, we're probably going to throw the ball anyways because it's an RPO, so we're probably going to throw the quick screen. Now, the odds of them blitzing both, like think about this as a defensive coordinator, the odds of them blitzing backers, inside backers, playing press coverage on 2 out of the 3 wide receivers, because that's the only way that's a problem on our quick screen, okay, is on the exact play time that we run this RPO, to the direction that they are calling the blitz appropriately to make it a problem for us. Like for that all to happen at the same time, that there's pretty good odds that that's not going to happen too many times in a football game. And what I would say is anything you give me defensively and anything I give you offensively, whoever has the chalk last can win the argument. Okay, and it's not about that. It's about percentages, right? So what are the odds that I win that last chalk conversation more than you do, right? So let's go ahead and dive into this real quick. So the rules if we're going to run it to the 3 technique with no blitz are deuce, back to the buck, block back on the nose, kick out the end, tackles up and through, jab step. We're reading this backside defensive end. Okay, the quarterback's eyes are there. All right, so if the buck backer blitzes from alignment, okay, so he goes right now on the snap. Okay, what's going to happen is the quarterback Okay, so if he blitzes from alignment, let me start off by just saying the simplest terms. If this backside backer, excuse me, my pen. If this backside backer blitzes from alignment post snap, there's no way he's getting to the tailback before the ball's handed off. And there are some other things that you have to realize from that defensive player's like mentality. If he's told to blitz, right, he has to make a decision. When he blitzes, is he going to tackle our running back? Like, is that what he's coached to do? Or is he coached to try to tackle the quarterback? Because remember, this is an RPO. Okay, so let's just say, the defensive end's responsibility is to close and wrong arm and try to chase down the tailback. Okay, well, we would be pulling this ball anyways. So if they blitz that A-gap backer, right, and this guy's closing and the tailback is also coming this way, that's going to be a big mess right here, and our quarterback's probably going to walk, free to daylight because of all that mess. Okay, so now let's say the opposite there. So let's say now the defensive end's responsibility is to stay home, and maybe he has contain. Okay, because again, to answer this question, there's a million different ways we can draw this up against a million different defenses, and there's different answers for different things, but we try to keep it simple for our kids. Okay, so the answer to that situation is the offensive line is not worrying about it. That's on the quarterback, right? His job is to protect his own butt. Okay, so if he feels a threat, he's going to either pull the ball and read it, or he's going to hand it off because that backer can't get there, right? So if this defensive end's job is to do this, right, and we're not worried about him chasing it down from behind, okay, then this blitz from alignment is not a problem because we're just going to hand this ball off, right? So we hand that ball off. He's not going to get there because you got to think what's got to happen too. As he's doing this from alignment, he's probably going to run into the tackle or run into the guard, right? And we have this deuce block right here driving back to nothing. So that means that if he disappears, they're going to stay on this thing, and the tailback is just going to ride it until he gets to the mic. You know what I mean? And sometimes your best football play is don't lose any yards, right? And that happens every once in a while, and that's okay too. But ideally, I'll take this guy against this guy any day of the week, right? So even if he messes up our tackle pulling and it gets messy there, I'll still take my running back on a Mike linebacker any day of the week in most situations. Most teams, this is their best football player, right? Their most athletic football player. Okay, so we talked about defensive end stays home. Let's take a look at what happens if he shows the blitz. Okay, if he shows the blitz, this is where we'll make our stick call, okay? And this is on the quarterback, right? And we talk about this in the pass portion. So let's just say we come to the line of scrimmage and they're showing this buckbacker blitz. They're pressing here, and this safety's real low, right? First of all, if they catch this play in that, it's fine because we're going to score a touchdown on the next play because they're not going to press 2 out of our 3 receivers with a low safety because they're going to start blitzing inside backers. Okay, we have other ways to take advantage of that, right? Okay, but with that said, if you get stuck in this situation, we have what we call a stick call. And the stick call just says that we are going to run one step slants and a streak on the outside. Okay, now, is this 100% necessary to build in to your system? No, this is something we did after year 2, year 3, when we had older kids and they got comfortable with it, and our quarterback could make that call. Okay, so what that did is he's going to take, and we also could change the protection here if we wanted to. So our quarterback, what he would do is he'd go to the line, he'd say easy, 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 and he would change our protection. So he'd change us to base protection, which is just one word for us, and the offensive line knows. So they'll communicate to base protect, and he would stick, 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 and our kids would know what they're doing. Okay, and really he has the freedom because we have had senior quarterbacks who have been all-state and college football players over the past 12 seasons, so we've been pretty lucky there. But we also give him the freedom to change it to any quick game route he wants if he sees something he likes, because he's also got a hitch on the backside here, right? So we have what's called choice routes, and we have other solutions is basically what I'm saying. But if we make the stick call, just to answer your question, we're staying in the same concept, counter tray, blocking counter tray, we just make our stick call. So quarterback would say easy, easy, easy. He'd hand signal out sticks to all the receivers, stick, 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 and we would just replace him with the football. Okay, same mesh, same everything. Quarterback's just going to catch the snap and replace him with the ball. Okay, and depending on where the safeties line up, and are the corners off on or whatever, the answer to your question is if he blitzes if he shows the blitz, like if we're in some kind of tempo where we're trying to see what their blitz is and going on a different snap count, and we see, hey, we got a blitz right here, he's either going to change it to stick, or if he likes the quick screen out here, so maybe they're just pressing one guy and the corner's not off, then we'll just go ahead and we'll throw our quick screen, and we'll block most dangerous, right? Whatever that looks like. Okay, so if he's in here, we would fold to that guy. If they're head up and low, just depending on where the safety is, like we went over all that stuff in the past portion. So that's all in part 3 of this same clinic. But hopefully that answered your question. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what concept you put up there. It could be buck sweep, it could be trap, it could be ISO, gap scheme, zone scheme, the veer. I don't care what offensive system it is or what you do offensively. There is always something I can draw up on defense that can stop what you're trying to do that one time, right? So it's possible to get lucky that one time, but you just need to have a plan to get them on the next play, right? And don't take too big a misses when you miss. Okay, and our quarterback also knows that it's always his best decision is just to be safe with the football. So if the quick screen's cloudy and he thinks something's messy, hand the ball off to the tailback and let him do what let him be the player he's supposed to be and why he's in that situation. Hand him the ball and let him see what he can get.